Hi everybody, Bones asked a great question. How do you use a microscope? So this is what that's about, how to use a microscope. Okay, we've got our microscope, which you got a little introduction in our last video about. So now I'm gonna show you how to actually use it, all right? Sound good, Bones? All right, here we go. The first thing you need to do is turn it on. Simple. Turn it on, plug it in, turn it on, no problem. Some people forget to do that, so you have to remind them. Okay, so we've got our eyepiece here, which has a magnification of 10, and I have this set under low power. There are 3 power objectives here. They are color-coded. The first one is 4, the second one, 10, and the third one is 40 times magnification. Now, in order to find out how much we're zooming in on an object, we just have to simply multiply 10 times 4. That's 40. 10 times 10, 100. 10 times 40, 400. So that's the different levels of magnification of some objects that we're going to look at. So let's take a look at our first one. The first one we're going to look at is a Drosophila fly, or a fruit fly. This is what it looks like on the slide. Okay, this is one of the bigger objects we're going to look like. So the first thing I'm going to do, so you can only put one slide on the microscope at a time. I'm going to take the microscope, I'm going to put it on the stage. I'm going to use my stage clips to secure it, and I'm going to put the Drosophila fly in the center of our field of view, or the light. You can see light coming through right there. So we're going to put it in the middle of the circle. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the microscope. I can see a little blob of brown. Okay, it's not focused yet, but I'm going to center my blob of brown. And now I'm going to start to focus. This is your coarse adjustment knob. This is your fine adjustment knob. We use the coarse adjustment knob under low power to initially get the object focused. So I'm going to turn this up and down. Now I'm going to do this from, you always look through the eyepiece when you're doing this, but for this example, I'm going to show you how it moves the stage up and down. See the stage moving up and down very quickly? The fine adjustment knob does it very slowly for more detail. So I'm going to look through our eyepiece. I'm going to slowly bring our Drosophila fly into focus. There we go. And I notice something. It's upside down and backwards from how I put this on. That's normal. When you put something underneath a microscope, it flips it upside down and reverses what you're looking at. Now I can see this Drosophila fly in pretty good detail. And Bones, over there, is looking at one on the smartboard. Okay? I'll give you more of a zoomed in look at what I'm actually looking at underneath the microscope in a couple minutes. So that's a very simple way to get a larger object focused underneath the microscope. Now, if you can't see something because it's either too light or too dark or there's too much of a glare, we use something underneath the stage called the diaphragm. This is going to change the light intensity coming through the microscope for us to properly look at the organism. So that's a simple one using a low power objective. 10 times 4, it's 40 times as big as what it looks like on the slide. Now, I'm going to take that off, and now I'm going to look at some frog's blood. That's right, you have to say blood. Can't just say frog's blood, you have to say blood. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, it looks like a red blotch, can't really see much. I'm gonna take my slide, I'm gonna put it on the stage, clip it in with my stage clips, center that red blob of blood, and right now it just looks like a pink blur. Can't really see very much. All right, so what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna use my coarse adjustment knob and I'm gonna start to focus it. Okay, I have it focused as good as I can, but it's so small, I still can't see very much. I wanna magnify it more. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna turn up to medium power. Click your objective lens in, make sure it's clicked in, and I'm gonna look through the eyepiece. It's definitely bigger. And I'm gonna show you some extra images on the smartboard in a few minutes, okay, Bones? So don't worry that you can't see through the microscope, Bones. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at on the smartboard, okay? Bones is very concerned. So now I'm gonna look at it. It's a little fuzzy, so I'm gonna use my coarse adjustment knob a little bit, just a touch, and that's a little better, but I want even more detail now. So I'm going to use my fine adjustment knob, and I'm just gonna slowly tweak it. This shouldn't take much. back, forward, in, out. Got it. It's nice and focused for me now. Now, I really want to zoom in and take a closer look. And as I'm zooming in, I actually see less of the object, okay? Because I'm zooming in, so I see less of the object, but I do see more detail, and that's important. So when you zoom into a higher power, you see less of it, but it's a lot more detail. Now I'm going to go under high power. Very important safety rule. Under high power, you're only using your fine adjustment knob. You are never using the coarse adjustment knob. It moves the stage too quickly and you will break the slide. Okay, so only fine adjustment knob now. I'm going to take a look. I just see a pink blur. I'm going to use my fine adjustment knob. And there they are. They look like jelly donuts. You're going to see, I think everything looks like food. I'm always hungry. They definitely look like jelly donuts, and I'm going to show you on the smartboard. Don't worry. I'm going to show you what our red blood cells look like in a minute, bones. Okay. So now, before I take this slide off, very important, go back to low power. Once I click back to low power, now it is safe to take off the slide. And that's how you go through the different objective focus levels. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time. All right, this time we're gonna use onion cells, all right, plant cells. Here's what they look like. It looks like just a green box, okay? Now these are stained, okay? When you stain an object, it's just so it looks better. You can see it easier than if you try to look at it, what it really looked like without staining it. And you can use different kinds of stains, iodine, different things. This has a nice green stain to it. So I'm gonna find that green blob. I'm gonna put it underneath the microscope. Okay, Bones, do you remember how I focus it under low power? What coarse adjustment knob do I use first? Yep, coarse adjustment knob. Did I already give that answer? I don't know. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna use my coarse adjustment knob, and I'm looking at my onion cells. Now these are plant cells, so they have a rectangular shape to it, which is actually pretty cool. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch up to my medium power objective. So my medium power objective multiplies things by 10. My eyepiece multiplies by 10. 10 times 10, 100. So I'm looking at cells 100 times as big as normal now. So I'm gonna, this is almost focused already. I'm just gonna tweak it with my fine adjustment knob. No need to use the coarse adjustment knob because it's almost in focus already. Beautiful. They look great. They look like rectangles. That's what they're supposed to look like. It's a plant cell. They have an extra cell wall around them that gives them that shape. Now, if I really want to zoom in, I want to take a really nice close look because you can actually see the nucleus in these. I'm going to go up to 40, okay? Now, once we're at 40, we can only use the fine adjustment knob if needed, but it's probably pretty focused already. So 10 times 40, 400. Very good. Oh, I'm going to have to use my fine adjustment knob. So fine adjustment knob, focus, and there they are. And that's basically how you use a compound microscope, okay? Now, before we take it off, we're gonna turn this back to low power, turn off the power of our microscope, and take the slide off. Now, exactly what was I looking at? Let me see if I can show you. We're going over here. So, I'm gonna say, that's our Drosophila fly. That's what we were looking at. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down if I can. I'm gonna put this here on our smartboard. That was our Drosophila fly. Whoops. I'm gonna scroll down. This was our frog's blood. This is low power, medium power, high power. Doesn't it look like jelly donuts? I think it looks like jelly donuts. So you can see, as we zoom in, you see less of them. If we were to count, I don't want to count this at all. This, I could count, but it would take too long. Finally, high power zoomed in. What did our onion cells look like? I'm going to scroll all the way down to our onion cells. Here's what our onion cells looked like. This was under medium power here, and this was under high power. And you can see even the rectangular shape of everything, okay? And you can even see the nucleus inside these cells. Hope you enjoyed learning about the microscope.